enjoys thinking about a possible recession. But if the COVID pandemic and 2008 economic crisis reminded us of anything, it was that we simply can't predict the future. We can prepare for it, though, if you have a clear income and investment strategy that account for worst-case scenarios. You can be confident in your retirement. Yes, even in the event of a recession. So call the Resource Center today at 417-882-1800 for your personalized plan to protect your financial security.
Good morning, Rogersville. Thanks for joining us again. I'm here with a financial expert and all-around good guy, Bruce Porter. Bruce, thanks for joining us again today.
Good to be here.
On K-ROG. What about that recession talk there?
Hey, it's...
Something's going to happen.
Well,
Depending on what happens in November, I think depends on the severity of what we're dealing with. But
the Lord didn't bless me with vision of the future, but
yeah.
All signs are there. So just be prepared. I mean, that's the best thing we can do.
Speaking of vision of the future, at church, we've been working through the book of Daniel. Mm-hmm. And that's so interesting because you look at a book like Daniel and you realize that, the last half of the book is all prophecy, mm-hmm. but a substantial amount of the things that were prophecy when Daniel wrote the book, they were in the future. We can now look back historically and realize they were right. That's exactly what happened.
Pretty spot on.
And so that just, again, verifies the truth of Scripture and that it's legit. It's the real deal. But no, we don't have any real good predictions in the short term what's going to happen around here. But, the thing that I think that we do know is just like the physical world and the scientific things, we've got laws like gravity. What comes up must go down. We know certain things will happen. And what always baffles me is I think it's obvious that economics have rules as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And you violate those rules, and the outcome is predictable. And so, it's like you can temporarily monkey with gravity. You can get a trampoline and overcome gravity in the short term. You can get in an airplane and you can overcome gravity for the short term if you put enough effort and energy behind it. And I think the same thing applies to economics. We can put enough effort and energy to trying to bend and overcome the rules of economics with all this socialist monkeying that they go around with and spending money and printing money out of thin air in Washington and screwing around with the economy. But the fact of the matter is, it's coming down. If it's artificially inflated like that. So.
Yeah. And
soapbox over.
And thanks for joining us today.
We appreciate you coming.
K-ROG. Yeah, the first tsunami of this obvious financial issue we're having is called inflation.
Right.
So now inflation is coming, and it's still building, and it's coming. And that's, there's going to be a day of reckoning because you can't do what the government has done over the past few months. You just can't do stuff like that and not expect some sort of issues down the road.
You said you can't predict the future, but we can predict the logical outcomes of certain actions. Mm-hmm. You print $1 trillion out of thin air
and give it to people
and inject it in the economy. There is a logical and predictable result. Just like if I take this pen and drop it, I know it's going to fall. That's a law. I know if I print $1 trillion out of thin air and inject it in the economy, I'm going to get inflation. I know that's going to happen.
Eventually. But initially, you're going to get some economic boost.
Oh, sure.
Because we're going to go spend that money.
Well, I got some acceleration there when I dropped my pen.
Yeah. Hey, don't bother going to work. Stay home.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So stay home and spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So run down to Lowe's, go get you some paint, go get you some stuff, remodel your bathroom. That's what went on.
Yep.
And now everybody goes, oh, I got to go back to work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You mean it's reality?
Mm-hmm. The government wasn't just going to pay me forever to stay home.
So now that's the problem. And so now there's a day of reckoning coming economically in this country, and we're going to be paying the price for that. So just no reason to be upset about it.
No, it's coming.
You voted these idiots in, right?
Well, not me. I didn't vote
November's coming, so be sure to go cast your ballot. But,
Yep.
that's, we got to realize the people that are in charge have no sense of reality when it comes to spending money and expectations.
Well, I think they have a vision of what they want the world to be like, and it's a fantasy, and
Yeah.
they're doing everything they can to try to achieve that. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, regardless of reality. But what do people, other than vote, other than go to work, other than do the things we're supposed to do, what do people like you and I and our viewers need to do, understanding that there's a reckoning coming? What should we be? With our money, what should we be doing with that?
Being very conservative. Don't risk money you can't afford to lose. And I often, use that phrase quite a bit. I have a very conservative approach towards financial stuff. That's kind of a catch-all stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm always impressed by the products that you offer folks that can't lose money. They can only go up. I just think that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, and I've been criticized for being overly conservative, but not by my customers. It's usually the people that are getting paid a fee to manage people's money and convince them that what goes down will come up. So just hang in there. Yep. Don't worry if you don't need your money. Don't worry about it. It'll come back, right? I get tired of hearing that. Yeah. Right?
Right. Sure.
And if that's my life savings, I just take a different approach.
I don't like losing money.
I've had conversations this week, and it's like, why didn't I make any money? And I said, well, where's there any growth anywhere?
Nobody's making any money.
Nobody's making money in investment accounts per se right now. Now, there's some local companies that are doing fine. They're still good investments. But, adjustments, when you buy a company, if you're market investors and you buy a company, are you buying the potential profit, or are you buying a company because you believe in that company?
Yeah.
See, when I invest, in market type investments, I buy value. I buy the companies I believe in. I buy the companies that I feel fit my cup of tea.
So you have your own ESG scoring system out? Is that what you...
Yeah, I do that. And, by doing that, I don't get burned because I'm buying a company because I'm interested in the company. Yep. I really don't care at this point how much money I make on that. Yep. I'm not needing that. Now, if I'm retired, maybe I don't have that same thought process. Sure. But if you're retired and can't afford to lose money, why are you in the market?
Yep. Yeah, do something safer.
So, I'm amused by brokers that, especially young brokers, brokers that have been in for, less than 10 or 15 years in these situations that say, oh, don't worry, here, just keep putting money in, or this, that, or the other. And, they're more interested in their pocketbooks than they are anybody else's.
Sure.
And so I think that there's a lot of thought that can be put into what's your objective during tough times like we're approaching. What's your objective? What's the family's plan? Can you afford to lose value and then wait for it to recover, or do you depend on that? And if you depend on it, I think you got to take a different approach. That's just my thought process.
Hey, if I brought you all the statements from my current brokerage account, would you look at that for me for free and tell me what you think?
Yes, I can do that. Depending on your situation, though, I may not make any changes. Yeah. I may tell you to stay the course. Just because there's risk doesn't mean that it's not appropriate. If you're in the right position in life, then maybe that's the appropriate account you need to be in. And maybe you just need to calm down, keep going to work, and stay the course, because there are opportunities when things are on sale. When the market drops, when do we always have discussions about buying stuff?
When stuff goes down.
That's right.
Everything's on sale
When
today.
do you have discussions about selling stuff? Doesn't matter. Stuff.
Yeah.
When it goes up.
Yep.
And so now, if you can't afford that type of risk, then you shouldn't be there in the first place.
Absolutely.
And there's a whole lot of folks that are there because they're blood drunk on growth. And all they think about is growth, growth, growth. Well, when are you going to sit back, smell the roses, and sail off into the sunset and enjoy what you've worked for 70 years to accumulate?
Yep.
You know, I think there's got to be a phase in life where you say, okay, I'm not going to risk it all. I'm only going to risk this much, and I'm going to play with that, but the rest of it I'm going to secure. So I think the question that you ask and the answer is, it's not an all or none scenario. It's having a good understanding of your financial plan and making a good mix of different buckets of cash. You would not take all the money in your checking account and speculate on a stock.
Right, yeah.
Because you got to pay your rent next month.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Likewise, if you're retired, it wouldn't be appropriate to take your entire life savings that it took you 70 years to build up and go speculate in the stock market.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
So
Now, maybe take a little bit of it, but not all of it.
So if I would like to sit down with you and just have you look over all of my statements and you tell me what you think and all that, I'm going to call 882-1800.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, hey, I'd like to sit down with Bruce and get a free financial review.
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. Folks come in and we have coffee and conversation. And hey, that'd be a good show, coffee and conversation.
Yeah, we call that the morning waffle.
Okay.
It's on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. All right. Coffee and conversation with the morning
Or
waffle.
Thursdays, we meet at coffee at the time.
I know.
Time to loaf over
You guys
there.
always get up early, though.
Yeah, I know we do. We'll
But,
get more done
or
by
you
8
could
a.m.
come
than
to
most
our
people do all
workshops.
day.
You know, right now we're doing 4 workshops a month because the demand is there.
Well, and get in June because we're taking July off.
We are. You've got to travel. I
Yep.
have to travel.
We got some
a
trap
couple of the
shooting to do.
girls there's a couple of vacations in the office that are planned with the staff. So we just thought we would take July and enjoy the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So do get into our
Yeah,
workshop
get in
in
June.
882-1800 and get into the workshop because the next ones will be in August. And I believe we have 4 scheduled for August. But very informative. You're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
And if no one has been that's listening, if you haven't been there, you need to come.
Sure.
Bring
It's
a
for fun.
friend.
Yeah, it's only about an hour.
Yeah, we try to keep
And
it.
it's a fast hour, I think. It goes by.
It's very
It
fast.
does for me because I'm talking the whole time.
It's amazing when people are leaving. Oh, I wish we could stay a little bit longer. Now, when your crowd says they wish they could stay
Yeah,
longer,
yeah.
you know you did okay.
Yeah, I always leave them wanting a little bit more, and that's what we try to do.
But you know, we're here to help, and we're just trying to preach the word, right?
right on.
Get out there and let everybody know that there's hope. And we've got some ideas for lots of different things. So the Resource Center and Worsham Law Firm.
Come and
teamed
see us.
up.
Come and see us. Thanks for watching, Rogersville. We'll be back next week with more dollars and cents.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and the Resource Center, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet a particular need of an individual situation. The Resource Center, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by the Resource Center, Inc. This podcast is a paid placement.